What is everyone's shirts today?
Oh, I'm disappointing.
Mine's a punk band from Cleveland called Heart and Lung.
Mine is a shirt about Metro Parks and how I love to hike.
Well, what is Brew Nuts? What is Brew Nuts?
So this is super cool. Actually, the back of this is the best part of this. Hold on.
So while she has her headphones off, Brew Nuts is a donut and beer restaurant in Cleveland. And they do weekly flavors, and they're always they're gigantic. They're
as big as your face.
Yeah. And the ones they had this week were all like Girl Scout cookie flavored. So they have a Samoa donut. They had one that was a thin mint fry cake. I forget what else, but they were all fucking amazing.
Yeah. And they're, honest to God, they're this big. They are as big as your face. And they're like a staple in Cleveland. They're on West 65th in Detroit. Their whole thing is beer and donuts. So they brew their own beer. They also have on tap, but they brew their own beer. And then use some of this, I don't know the whole thing, but they use some of the stuff that they use in the beers afterwards, can incorporate them into the donuts. So so it's just this whole thing. So I actually hope you guys can see the back of my jacket. I had to take my headphones out for it, but it was a birthday gift. Actually, it was one of my 30th birthday gifts from Mr. J here. So it was pretty cool. They're so if you find yourself in Ohio City at any time, it is definitely the stop.
So good. It's so good.
They're giant. I have to cut one in half, and then I'm like, okay, now it's the size of a Krispy Kreme normal donut. Donuts that normal people eat. So they are, and they change their menu every week. They're closed Mondays and Tuesdays, open Wednesday to Sunday until they sell out. I'm giving you everything. Here's everything about Brew Nuts that you need to know. I work there from this time to this time.
If you know their hours, I'm like, okay, wow, you're diehard.
Oh yeah. Because anytime I can introduce Brew Nuts to somebody, I 100% do. When I introduced Jay to Brew Nuts, I was like, get ready to rock your world. I take them everywhere too. They're always a huge favorite of wherever I take them. So I'm always bringing Brew Nuts.
What's on your shirt, Alina?
Yeah, what's your shirt?
Wes Craven.
Ooh, nice. Hey, that's super cool.
All right, what are we doing here today?
Jace to the Beans, it is a Monday, not our typical Sunday fun day, but it is a Monday, and we are having a meeting of the Scary Movie Club.
Right. And we have
a
friend with us again.
We do. We had so much fun last week that we immediately were like, well, shit, we just got to have her back on. So hi, Alina.
Hello. Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. So again, Alina's representing Akron Horror Hounds. We are so stoked to have her back on. And Jay and I agreed immediately that we're like, yeah, she's coming back as soon as possible. So we are continuing our Scream coverage. And we are jumping into Scream 3. Wes Craven's 2000 Scream 3. All of your favorites are back. We have Neve Campbell. We have David Arquette. We have Courtney Cox.
Arquette. They're married now in this one.
Yes. Courtney Cox Arquette. Good call. Hey, guess what? I'm Victoria.
Hi, I'm Jay.
Hey, I'm Alina from Akron Horror Hounds.
Welcome to the Scary Movie Club.
I'm in the goddamn club, all right.
Come on. I had this all queued up, and then my fucking Fire Stick was like, I'm gonna take a nap.
We talked too long about baptisms and religion.
Yeah, fun.
A baptism, I think it should be a lot more about the kid instead of the actual religion. So I do think a slip and slide and super soaker sounds much better.
Although an infant's probably not going to enjoy a slip and slide. Well, no. Yeah, they might.
No, sir. Every child from age day 1 to age day infinity in 1 loves a slip and slide.
Day 1, day 0, when they have
they pop on out. They pop out wet already. Just shoot them down there.
You could just put a slide there, and the doctor wouldn't need to be there to catch them. You could automate the entire process.
That's what I hear. Is they're very slippery when they come out.
Yeah,
it's like, ooh.
I caught one.
Yeah. So did you? I listened to last podcast last week. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I've got 4 kids.
Yes, he does.
That is so many kids.
You're fucking telling me.
I hear dog barking and I'm very excited about it.
Amazon's here, so she knows where her food comes from, and it's a big Amazon delivery truck. So
That's adorable. That is the cutest thing.
are you on DVD or streaming?
I personally, I do not have this DVD. I am streaming this through Amazon Prime through the Paramount Plus app.
Ditto.
3 for 3.
Jinx.
Neato, man.
So this movie starts and we're immediately in Hollywood. So we're immediately different than the last two Screams.
But we see a familiar face. Liev Schreiber.
Schreiber.
Yep, there you go. He's back and he is playing Cotton Weary. And continuing to be douchebag Cotton Weary, pretty much.
Yes. Very good at it.
Yeah, very good at it, very believable. And so it's your first opening kill. He gets the call, but it's not the call that you are used to. We get introduced to a fun, different way to use the voice box.
That's the way to describe it.
Hey now, again, going into Scream 3, we're kind of in three different perspectives here. So I think Scream 3 is very fun. I think it's very fun. I think it's a play on itself. I think it fits in very, very well with the entire Scream saga. It's not my favorite of the Screams for sure, but I'm happy it's there. I think it's fun. I think it adds a lot. I'm coming from I'm a fan of the movie. Jay?
I have some issues with it. I don't think I've done a lot of reading, okay? And I will, that's how I'm going to go into this. I've done a lot of reading and I have my opinions of the movie and what I see upon my viewings, because I watched it twice all the way through and like paying attention, not like dicking around on my phone or doing something else. And I have issues, but I have read things and then I've also kind of made connections on my own after reading certain things to see it as more of a critique of Hollywood that has given me a new perspective that I don't know that I totally agree on. So I'm very if I feel to sum up my reaction, it's that
half and half, you'd say.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
We're like at a, what is it? What would you say? Is it like 45-55 split?
I might go like
60-40?
Yeah.
60-40?
Yeah.
Okay, so 60% against 40% for.
Yeah. And not even yeah.
All right. And then we have Alina. She's not a big fan.
I don't remember the first time I saw it. When Scream 5 came out and everyone's doing their rankings, I just remember I didn't love it. So watching it again this week, it's definitely my least favorite Scream. I have probably a lot of the same issues that Jay has, but I also want to respect it. I know some people just love it. I know some people rank this as their second favorite Scream after Scream 1. And I respect that. I respect other people's opinions on it. And I want to appreciate and understand them. Yeah. So I also was trying to understand this movie, how the writing, how the story, the plot, how it fit in, what was the story they were trying to tell. So I'm there with you. I'm probably like 50-50, but I like slasher movies. I like, the whodunit. That's always fun. The seeing Sydney and Dewey and Gail is always fun. So yeah.
With the best haircuts ever.
Yeah. The movie really had kind of a lot going on in the background that really informed the decision and the movie that we ultimately saw. Thing is, it looks really fucking good because it's still a Wes Craven movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A bad Wes Craven movie is still a Wes Craven movie and it still looks fucking great. But it had really unfortunate timing in that it was set to come out right on the heels of the Columbine massacre, and pop culture and the media and movies and video games were like super under fire. And I remember that because I graduated in 2000. So I remember when the shootings happened and being like, this is fucked up. And then hearing the media blame all the shit that I liked. And I was like, hey, now I don't super appreciate that. But it really did inform media for a couple of years. And they were really concerned about showing violence in a high school setting that close to Columbine. So that's when they made the decision to move it to Hollywood. That was actually Aaron Kruger, the writer who replaced Kevin Williamson because Kevin Williamson was too busy. He had his notes that he had prepared originally, and Aaron Kruger just kind of threw him out. Aaron Kruger has gone on record as saying, like, I didn't do these characters properly. Sid, especially, I think one of my issues with the movie is that Sid kind of gets the short end of the stick. She's not in it a lot. And I don't feel like the character we see is necessarily true to the other movie.
There's a reason for that. There's a reason that she was a smaller character in this. It's because Nev Campbell was only available for 20 days of the shoot, which explains why she was the smaller role, and you get a lot more Galen Dewey.
So on the violence end, you had pressure from the studio and just societal peer pressure, and from on the production end, the Kevin Williamson was too busy. Nev Campbell was practically too busy. There were just a lot of extenuating circumstances that made this the most unfamiliar Scream in the Scream franchise.
For lack of a better phrase, there was a lot of dick swinging that went on in this movie. And this scene that we're watching right now with Liev Schreiber is actually a really good example of it. He made them reshoot this scene so that he could go without his coat because he had been working out and wanted to show off his physique.
Can you look at the pecs and
very cotton weird.
The arms? Like, he has clearly been working out.
Yeah, it's just very true to Cotton Weary's character, and I thought it was pretty fucking funny.
I'm wondering, that's very true. It makes me think though, when did his Sabretooth come out? When he played Sabretooth in
right around
X-Men?
this time.
That's what I'm thinking. Okay, yeah, because I'm like sitting here thinking, like, you're saying this to me, and it's like, yes, but when did he play Sabretooth? So that would make me think, like, that's why he's working out a little bit heavier. That's why he's like, yeah, let me take my jacket off, which you're very right, is very true to the Cotton Weary character. It's douchey.
Yeah. So some of the other dick swinging, the studio was like, we legit have to tone back the violence. Let's make it a comedy. And they were like, let's cut out like all the blood. And Wes Craven was like, if we're going to do that, fine, let's do that. But let's not call it Scream because it's not what Scream is.
Yeah.
So they had a really difficult time with the violent aspects of it. And that's one of the reasons they moved it to Hollywood. And all of the people who get killed are full grown fucking adults rather than high school kids. And there's actually an amusing line where Jenny McCarthy talks about being, in her 30s and playing a 18-year-old. And it's fairly amusing.
So I did say there were some pretty heavy, late 90s, early 2000s Hollywood hitters in this. We said Parker Posey. Jay just mentioned Jenny McCarthy. Also, Patrick Dempsey, who had signed on the day before shooting and had one night to learn, I think it was 3 dialogue heavy scenes just in one night. So kudos to Patrick Dempsey for taking that on. And, his character isn't good.
Actually, he's my favorite character in this one. How about that?
Okay. All right. Yeah.
I feel like he. Right. Yeah.
Alina, are you not a fan of Patrick Dempsey in this?
So there's one part he just comes off so creepy, like so forward.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. He does.
He's not a close talker by nature. So when he leans in, when we get to it, there's a point where he leans in really close to her and says something really creepy. And it's like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Are you trying to get in her pants or you're trying to kill her? So, who knows?
Right. Are you trying to be a red herring or are you just creepy? What? The
reason that I love him is that I view him as a hard-boiled crime noir detective.
Yeah.
Fun. That's fun.
And I feel like that's how he's delivering his lines. And he's just an accent away from being like a Dick Tracy character. You know what I mean? And
sure,
that's why I like him so much in this movie, because he's just and it's great.
So we met Sydney living alone in a cabin that had all these security systems and a beautiful
golden
dog.
Retriever.
I feel like they're trying to tell me that she's reclusive, that she hasn't dealt with her issues. But I mean, first of all, she's an early adopted to remote work, which we all have had to come to terms with. But also,
yes,
in my opinion, that looks awesome. And that's the life I wish I could live, in a house in the woods with just me and my dog and not having to talk to anyone.
And my issue
yes.
with Sydney's job is that if she is still dealing with her